Hello and thanks for joining us for our late night newscast coming to you from Arirang's news centre in Seoul. I'm Mark Broom. We are going to start with the sweltering summer heatwave here in Korea, a combination of the peak vacation season and sizzling temperatures saw expressways to the nation's summer hotspots jam-packed with cars and buses on Saturday. Expressways headed south to Busan and east to Gangneung moved at pretty much a snail's pace for most of the day as almost 5 million people hit the road to flee the capital area for some fun in the sun. Finding a decent spot on Busan's Haeundae or Gwanghwaneuli beaches among the endless rows of parasols proved extra challenging. Most of the south of the country is under a heatwave alert, so if you're planning on making the trip on Sunday, please make sure to pack plenty of sunblock and water to stay hydrated. Now, on a related note, Incheon International Airport, Korea's main gateway, also saw a record daily number of passengers on Saturday. Over 103,000 people departed, with another 92,000 arriving, for a total of more than 195,000. An airport official says he expects the record to be broken yet again on Sunday. Now, China's defense ministry has announced it's pushing ahead with plans to develop its own anti-missile system. The surprise move comes amid Beijing's staunch opposition to South Korea's recent decision to deploy a powerful US-made missile defense system to counter North Korea's growing nuclear and missile threats. Kim Min-ji with the details.
It has been confirmed that the Chinese military is developing its own missile defense system. At a recent press briefing, China's defense ministry spokesman said developing substantial capabilities for missile defense is necessary for the country to maintain national security. His remarks come in response to recent footage showing Chinese ground-based mid-course defense system successfully intercepting an incoming missile. The so-called GMD system can target and destroy ballistic missiles in space. Although the spokesman said the system is not targeting any specific country and will not affect international strategic stability, it's seen as Beijing's way of showing that it's capable of countering the U.S. Terminal High Altitude Area Defense, or THAAD, which is to be stationed in South Korea by 2017. Seoul and Washington recently announced they would deploy THAAD to Seongju, a county in the southern part of South Korea. China has strongly opposed the deployment, saying it infringes on its security interest, vowing to take necessary action.
We'll closely follow the related actions of the U.S. and South Korea and consider necessary measures to safeguard China's national security.
However, some military experts say there's a wide gulf between U.S. and China in terms of missile defense technology. They say Beijing's system lacks real battle testing, which raises questions about its maturity and reliability. Kim Min-ji, Arirang News.
Now, North Korea's exports of natural resources to China that are not subject to UN sanctions spiked in the first 6 months of this year. The Seoul-based North Korea Sources Institute says exports of resources like lead, zinc and copper amounted to slightly over $78 million in the first half. That's up more than 50% compared to the same period last year. The natural resources are not included on the UN's list of goods North Korea is prohibited to trade with other nations. The sanctions were adopted earlier this year after North Korea conducted its fourth nuclear test in January and a long-range missile launch the following month. Now, one of North Korean leader Kim Jong-un's closest aides is in China ahead of a trip to Brazil for the opening ceremony of the Rio Olympics. Choi Ryong-hae, vice chairman of North Korea's State Affairs Commission, was snapped entering Pyongyang's embassy in Beijing late Saturday morning. Sources say it remains unclear how long he will stay in China or whether he plans to meet with any top Chinese officials before setting off to Brazil. Che is expected to stay in the South American country for around 1 week. North Korea has already sent about 24 athletes to the Olympic Village in Rio. They will compete in 9 different events, including the marathon, judo, wrestling, weightlifting and table tennis. Hell on earth. That's how 2 UN agencies have described the fallout of armed conflicts on around 56 million people around the world. In a report presented to the UN Security Council, the Food and Agriculture Organization and the World Food Programme expressed deep concern over the available food supplies to 17 countries. In particular, they pointed out that nearly 9 out of 10 Syrian refugees in Lebanon require urgent food aid. The worsening situations in Yemen, South Sudan, Burundi and the Lake Chad Basin were also flagged up as humanitarian crises. Europeans have identified immigration and terrorism as their 2 main concerns, leaving other issues like the economy and unemployment in a distant third and fourth. Polling more than 30,000 people in 34 European countries and regions, the European Commission survey found that almost half, 48%, cited immigration as one of the 2 most important issues facing the EU. Terrorism was cited by 39% of respondents. In the same survey conducted just 18 months ago, unemployment was the main concern, followed by the economic situation throughout Europe. The latest poll also found that more than a quarter of Europeans have a negative image of the EU, and only a third said they trusted the Union. Now back here in Korea, and pork products grown on so-called animal welfare farms here in the nation have become the latest to receive so-called animal welfare certification. Now, these farms provide cool, stress-free environments for pigs as part of a broader effort to ensure farmyard animals are treated well. Lee Min-young reports.
This is a pig farm in Gyeongsangnam-do province. The ground is cushioned with rice husks and is unseasonably cool. There is even classical music playing.
The pigs stay active and eat less feed, improving meat quality and promoting more efficient growth.
A farm this size can normally raise over 4,000 pigs, but this one chose to limit its animal population to 2,500 and give its pigs more space instead. The farm was certified as an animal welfare farm in June and produces what the Pohang Pig Farming Association is calling animal welfare certified pork.
We see this as an opportunity to provide consumers with safer food while allowing farmers to reap higher profits.
Certifications have been given for other kinds of meat, but this is the first in the country for pork. In order for the final product to be sold with an animal welfare certification mark, slaughterhouses must also minimize injuries and pain during transport and slaughter. The president of the Farming Association believes this will give the local livestock industry a more competitive edge, especially in a market of increasing meat imports. Lee Min-young, Arirang News.
Now to an exciting cultural event taking place across the Pacific. The biggest annual Korean pop culture festival, KCON 2016, has kicked off in Los Angeles, organised by CJ E&M. Festival goers will be able to enjoy concerts by popular K-pop bands, as well as get first-hand experience of Korean food, cultural contents and even beauty products. The event, now in its 5th year, will run through Sunday local time and is expected to draw some 70,000 Hallyu fans. KCON 2016 has been held in Abu Dhabi, Tokyo, Paris and New York so far this year. Now, we're halfway through the last weekend of July, and you might be looking for some ways to enjoy summer in different parts of Korea outside of Seoul. For a look at a firework festival in the eastern port city of Pohang, where thousands have been gathering to enjoy this last weekend of July with a blast. Oh Se-young reports.
One way to refresh after a hot and humid work week could be to watch some spectacular fireworks by the beach. The Pohang International Light and Fire Festival takes place every July and is now in its 13th year. The streaks of light against a pitch-black sky and the echoing crack. For many locals, it never gets old. It almost makes you forget about the heat and humidity.
I live nearby, so I come here every year. But every time, it's amazing. Just beautiful.
Hundreds of visitors have been counting down the hours to enjoy the dazzling display, their excitement building up with a street parade that led the day into night.
We had so much fun looking at the dancing and the parade. I hope lots of people come here too and make fantastic memories.
Busking performances really pumped up the atmosphere with some lively beats and dancing.
The festival lasts till Sunday, beginning at 7 p.m. So for those in the upper parts of the country, there's still time to make a quick getaway for the weekend.
The International Fireworks Show will feature exquisite displays from Korea, Italy and Taiwan, alongside cultural exchange performances, and there'll be a DJ party where you can dance the night away. On the final day, don't miss the food fair and the mega water fight before the last barrage of fireworks go off at 9. Oh Soo-young, Arirang News, Pohang.
Now finally we're going to take a look at the weather, and we do have another steamy night in store with high levels of humidity as you'd expect at this time of the year. We're going to see the low. It's only going to dip down to 24 degrees Celsius in Seoul, so you may need to keep the air conditioning on tonight. Sunday will bring similar conditions to today with plenty of sunshine, and highs nationwide are going to be in the low to mid 30s, and it'll be hotter down south than it is up north. With that, let's take a look at the weather in Korea and around the world. Well, those are stories we've been following at this hour. For more of the latest, don't forget to check out the website arirang.com/news. You can always also download our smartphone application. Just search for Arirang TV in your app store. Do enjoy the rest of your weekend. Goodbye.